How can you spot all of these flooded cars that are gonna come into the market? Coming up next. This is Flipping Cars. My name is Danny, and I want to show you exactly what to look out for on all of these flooded cars that are gonna come into the market. With the recent hurricane that just happened, you really need to be aware as a car flipper of these cars that have been flooded, what kind of conditions they're in, what to look out for so that you can completely avoid these. Over time, they're gonna give massive issues, so stay away, please. Hit that like and subscribe before we get into it so that you can stay up to date on your flipping cars business. This is actually a great report that came out just a few days ago from Consumer Reports. You can see here that Carfax reported back in 2021 there were over 378,000 flooded cars that hit the market. So you understand that not all of these cars are going to be crushed and done away with. That's why I wanted to get into this today so that you can start prepping yourself on what you're going to do next, so that when you do come across one of these flooded vehicles, you're not really bamboozled into buying one just because somebody's presented it in a really nice package and it's nice and clean and it's ready for you to resell. The flooded cars are transported well beyond the original region after major storm. It means that a lot of these insurance companies, they're gonna ship them off to auction sites, places like IAA and Copart. Here are a couple of things to look out for when you're viewing a car and you think it's flooded. Number one, you're gonna look out for a musty smell. It's gonna hit you as soon as you open up that door. When you start the air conditioning, it's gonna hit you right away. It's very difficult to get this musty odor out of these cars. And the simple matter is that when a car sits for days, even weeks on end, while the insurance company goes through its process, this just soaks into all of the foam and all the seats. So even if they recover the seats, change out the carpet, even a small distinct odor that you get from inside the car and from the vents when you turn on that air conditioning, then you will likely be looking at a flooded car. While we're on the subject of the interior, brand new carpets on an older vehicle. Definitely look out for these because it's a sign that more than likely it's been in a flood, and that's just masking everything that's underneath. The third one I want to mention to you is grab the seat belts, pull them all the way out. There's a way you can do that, and a lot of the times, like I mentioned before, these cars sit for a while, so you can see either a water line or even a mud line in there. If the seat belts look brand new, that's also another tall tale sign that the car has been in a flood, because sometimes the seat belts do get damaged through that. Some of the advertising that's being put out there right now, like when you Google flooded cars, there are some people that unfortunately are going to try to take advantage of this situation and buy really cheap cars that potentially down the road can give a lot of issues to whoever buys them. Because don't get me wrong, there are some people that really put their time and effort into fixing these flooded cars, and they do it correctly. But it's not to take away the fact that maybe down the road, a few months, maybe a year or two, when you're owning that car, it's gonna have some repairs that come up that can be very related to the flood that car went through. Is also looking for rust lines in areas where it's kind of strange. So if you look under the seats and there's a lot of rust on those seat rails, you can look inside the trunk and on the hinges areas, even where the speakers go, you might see some rust, some brand new rust through those areas that'll eventually affect the rest of the car. One that I really want to share with you that's a very easy one to spot is that a lot of the newer cars have modules and computers everywhere. So when you open up the hood, typically a computer somewhere in the engine compartment, and you can identify right away whether it's a new computer or not. That might be a tall tale sign that the car is flooded when there's a new computer in there combined with some of the other ones that I just mentioned. Now when you're looking under these seats too, sometimes there's modules under there. You look at them, if they're brand new, in combination with some of these, you can definitely tell it was a flooded car. Maybe as a flipper, you've considered some of these auction houses to go to them. And I want you to be able to protect your money, your hard-earned money, when you go out to these places and are looking to invest in your next flip. Some people go that route and buy cars off of IAA or Copart, and that's how they make a living flipping cars. I just want you to protect yourself if that's something that you're going to explore. For the majority, when you're hitting Facebook Marketplace and finding these great deals, you're still going to look out for this, because chances are more than likely that in the next few months you're going to come across one or two of these, or even more depending on where they get shipped off to. On the flip side of things, you have an opportunity to make some money if you position yourself right. So start looking for those deals and get ready for this buying peak that's going to hit our market, because a lot of people from these affected areas are going to start looking for cars, and they can't look for them in those areas because of what happened. In the Southeast, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to find cars so that you can resell to people that need a car right now. If there's some tips and things that you look out for on flooded cars too, feel free to share down below in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.